go to toe to toe with you, and you just got off a plane for 15 hours. You ain't got time for that.
Right.
Mm-mm. And you pop off. Y'all get this out of here, for y'all have to bring them out on a stretcher. Oh no, we don't condone violence. No, I don't condone people disrespecting other people and thinking it's okay and that it's not gonna happen. Because if y'all don't handle it, I'ma handle it.
Okay, but we need to be fair though. Are comedians allowed to tell jokes?
Yes.
Comedians are allowed to tell jokes.
Let's talk on that side though.
But there are several comedians who know how to tell jokes and make sure that the jokes are not at someone else's expense.
I think if Chris Rock is guilty of anything, it is not doing his research.
I think what this has also opened up a door to is a very slippery slope of comedy and people policing it.
Exactly.
Comedy is...
We need to be careful about that.
We got to be very careful with it, because not only is it free speech, but it's also the things that are said or the things that we are all thinking that we're afraid to say. Right. And but if we start telling people they can't say certain things, they can't do certain things, then it's going to just get worse.
If we can't tell people they can't say certain things, then we can't tell people how to react.
Absolutely.
What we got to understand too is the best comedians are the ones that can actually poke jokes at themselves and make that the funny bit. We got an issue here. You are exactly right. We do have an issue here where we could go down a slippery slope.
And,
but at the same time,
black women and their hair is a thing, is a real thing, is a real journey of self-love and understanding themselves, especially in this country.
We gotta
there's a comedian here right now.
Yeah, and I'm trying to bring her on. I really want her to come.
Yes, get her in here.
Let me get her on, because I want her to come in here and talk to us. I really do.
I'm just saying we don't protect black women enough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even I'll be looking at myself like, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to do more. You know, it was inspiring for me, and I think black women won, even though black women.
We got Flame Monroe here. Flame.
Hello, Flame.
Let me find a hat. What's up, y'all?
Yes, we need to unpack this, because I would love to hear your side of.
Yeah, what does Flame have to say about all of this? We've said
y'all ain't gonna be happy. Y'all ain't gonna be happy with my side.
No, I already know what she gonna say, because I'm probably agreeing.
We like all the sides.
Sure.
I love the fact that I saw a black man in a room disrespect another black man in a room full of white folks, and he stood up for his wife. Because that ain't no bitch he fucking. That ain't one of his dips. That ain't no his hoe. That is the mother of his children and his wife for 20 years. And Chris Rock been riding their asses for about 5 or 6 years. Will Smith is Hollywood's black golden boy, but Will Smith is also a human being. He got emotions, flesh and bone. Nobody knows what pressure he was up against. Nobody knows how his wife feels about her bald head and her insecurity, because women value their hair.
Exactly.
Women, their hair is a part of their beauty and their vanity. Nobody knows what they were experiencing going through. Do I think that he did it at the appropriate time? No, I do not.
Right.
But sometimes you have to address the situation when it's there. We keep holding each other as black people, our feet to the fire. Right. Oh, you do that shit at the BET Awards. What's the difference? Disrespect is disrespect, whether it's at the Oscars or the BET Awards. Sometimes you got to handle it the way he handled it. Yeah. I don't completely agree with it, but when I tell you I got my whole life, I know every faggot in the audience and every woman in the audience, panties and drawers was wet, because it turned me the fuck on. Do it, Big Will. I'm like, do it, Big Will.
I would put on my makeup last night at work like this.
I'm like, now, I ain't never looked at Will in that kind of way, but in West Philadelphia, Montrese, on the playground was where I said, baby, that turned me on. And I'm not condoning it. And as a comedian, I know exactly the other side of that, because now I'm going to have to monitor what I say. But I am not a comedian that goes on stage to roast an audience. I have material, and Chris Rock ain't been seen in quite some time. This was Chris Rock's chance to come out. There's a million other things that you could have talked about.
Wait.
You didn't have to pick that. You did not have to pick that.
You trying to say Chris ain't been working?
No, I'm not saying he hasn't been working, but publicly we haven't seen him. But here's the flip side of how Hollywood works. This was public and it was ugly for us to see. But in 2 or 3 months, they'll make a movie together, and they'll both make millions and millions of dollars about it. So while we're talking about it, this is an overplay for the underplay. Real talk.
Right. That's what I said earlier. I said y'all don't know what happened once they got off backstage, because a deal was made, and that's why they ain't been no charges pressed. They ain't said nothing.
Because
they made a deal
Chris Rock is going to be the hottest ticket right now. Everybody wants to interview him, I'm sure. And him and Will make Bad Boys 4 together. Maybe he'll get a chance to slap Will back in the movie. And while we all giving our opinions on what should and what should not be, I hope that as a black person in this country, that more black men will stand up for their black wives. Not necessarily to promote violence, but sometimes you got to shut some shit down.
And stand up for your side piece, too.
Whoa.
Well, I don't know about all that side piece.
Why not? Why not? Everybody doing it.
I'm just glad that Will's frustrations lingered over for 3 more weeks, because 3 weeks ago that could have been Laverne. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
That could have been Laverne. So whatever his boiling point was, I'm glad it didn't happen then, because then it would have been, oh, it's a hate crime, it's transphobia, woo woo woo. Sometimes disrespect is just disrespect, and people get tired of the bullshit.
Yeah, people get tired of the bullshit.
Now, Flame, when they laughed that off, when Laverne had slipped that in at the end of their interview, when they laughed it off, do you feel like it was a genuine laughter, like they was with her on the joke?
Absolutely not.
Like,
I think they just ignored her because she was so insignificant. They just ignored the bitch, honestly. And I'm not saying that she said it out of malice. I don't think that she said it out of hate or anger. I think she had a slip of the tongue, and it just slipped out. But I didn't agree with her not apologizing, because had Jada came back and said, oh, yes, yes, sir, we'll see you at your next SRS, baby, the whole social media would have went crazy. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's transphobic. She hate gay. Understand that if you can dish it out, then you can fucking take it.
Take it.
That's what I was talking about with the other situation we were talking about. Exactly. You're exactly right. I totally agree.
I do.
I just thought that was bullshit. But you know what? This is definitely not going to help the comedians with what we want to say and how we want to say it. But sometimes Will is human. People keep forgetting that. He is Hollywood, and we see this image of him. He is high class, grand black Hollywood royalty, but he is still flesh and bone. And a lot of this shit has played out publicly with his wife, with the cheating, with people saying whatever they got to say. But that nigga went straight Muhammad Ali. Boombaye. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now, I got wet and hard at the same time. It turned me on shit.
Let me ask you a question, Frank. Do you feel like it's too much to ask for a comedian to, when they're writing their stuff, to actually, if they're going to go there on these type of things, to do that research, to be like, okay, let me look this, make sure I'm not stepping on with disease?
Well, that is too much censorship, which is what they're taking away from us now. But at the Oscars, things need to be approved. When it's on a level like that, jokes and stuff have to be approved.
It has to be approved.
Absolutely. That's why. And somebody said that, and I don't know how true this is, but that the joke was in rehearsal. He asked Will about the joke, and Will
everything,
said, no.
Especially for Oscars, is approved. They have to, because it's televised worldly, and they cannot take a risk of something going wrong. So that shit was already approved and already okayed.
Mm-hmm. So you think it was approved and okay to do the joke?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Because what they're saying is that he asked Will about doing the joke, and I don't know if he jokingly thought Will was like, no, don't do the joke. But Will was like, Will said no.
I don't think they knew about the joke. I don't know. It didn't come off like they knew about it. Maybe they could have, but either way, I could tell he didn't want it to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I certainly could tell what we won't debate is if Jada liked it. We know Jada didn't like it.
Because I think that's what happened. Will looked over at Jada.
Absolutely.
And he saw her reaction.
So it doesn't
and
matter.
Was like,
so that's all that matters at this point.
Oh no, you're not gonna have my wife sitting here like this.
Right. It took
But we also have to allow space for people to understand not everyone knew Jada's situation.
Right.
Not everyone knows that she has a medical condition.
That's the question. Chris, no.
Well, that is the question, because I think that changes how everyone sort of gets to their conclusion.
And that goes back to what I was saying about the research. If you're going to go do something and talk about somebody, you at least need to know like the same thing happened with, who's the one that made the joke about Caitlyn Jenner and all that stuff, and he didn't know the stuff, and the trans community really laid into him.
I don't know.
He should have done his research on what
the story, though.
It was kind of crazy, and it was like, okay, well, maybe they should do some research to figure out, okay, is this going, if I say this, is this going to be, you know?
They should definitely do research. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
if on that,
I don't know.
Not in general, not like, not for their, for something like the Oscars, which only happens one time a year. I don't think doing your research about your jokes is too much to ask for that moment.
No, not for the Oscars.
I think for it to be a joke, it was the joke hilarious? No, it wasn't. But I got the joke. You're making reference to a bad movie where what's her name? Demi Moore shaved her head to be a bald, person in the army. I'm like, so you see a bald woman sitting there, so you make that connection. And was it a great joke? No. But I think a lot of people are assuming that he was poking fun of her condition, which that's not what the case was.
You're right.
This is where people are disconnected, though. Somebody said Regina talked about LeBron's hairline. He didn't get mad. She talked about LeBron to LeBron.
Right.
She didn't talk about LeBron's wife. Right. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference there. And his hairline might not bother him. That might be something that does not bother him.
Right.
So
they're two different people.
And that was two different. That was two totally different situations. Whoever she was talking to him about himself. I said it all day long, like at All Stars. Y'all can come at me, say whatever you want to say, but I see how this is affecting Adora. Get off her. Get off her. That's not cool. Come at me. I can handle it. Bitch, I'm almost 30 years in the business at that point. What y'all gonna do?
Not nothing.
Bring it. Because it's going to roll right off my back. Go ahead. You can talk about my makeup. You can talk about this. You can talk about that. I'm good. But leave this little young girl alone who's trying to have a career and do what she's doing. You have to, it's the same reaction. And if I reacted that way with a friend, this man was reacting with his wife. Come on, y'all.
Of 20-something years.
And everybody's like, oh, well, they had an open relationship. Y'all, it don't matter. Y'all don't know how people live. Y'all don't know what people relationships are with each other.
But that's the misconception about open relationships.
That it means you love your person.
It somehow invalidates their love for one another.
That's crazy to me.
That has nothing to do with it. I mean, that's
you don't know people's situation.
Absolutely.
And not. Why they're in that, why they are at that level.
Half of y'all motherfuckers still married to a motherfucker you don't even like.
Exactly.
I mean, like, whatever. I'm not judging anybody for their marriage or relationship. That's none of our business. It really isn't.
It's not. And it's pretty crazy though.
But I do have compassion for the journey of alopecia that so many people have to go through.
And maybe people should go, that should be something right now that people go and research and understand. Because if they did that, then everybody would be able to put into perspective a little bit more how we've arrived at this. But,
I do have compassion for Chris Rock as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that he meant to do that. I don't believe he meant harm. And
just because you didn't mean harm does not mean you don't need to be held accountable sometimes. I
agree with that too.
Because
that's a slippery slope if we say
well, you didn't mean it.
Right.
You didn't mean it, so it's okay.
Right.
Yeah. We're not gonna do that either. I just think that it's important to have that a part of the conversation as well. Is the fact that his intentions weren't like to do it. He didn't come with like a master plan to get under Jada's skin. Like I don't think that was like his thing.
Yeah.
I just genuinely don't. That's just my opinion. Maybe people feel differently, but
yeah. But this was a pretty interesting conversation. Mayhem, you want to add anything else before we get off this?
No, nothing at all. I thank you for inviting me to chat. I love it.
Anytime.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Because the main thing we want to do is we always want to get to the why. Not about us, not always about the situation things happen, but there's always a why to or how we arrived at this. What got us to this point. And I think that's important. People don't ever want to talk about
childhood
that. They sensationalize what, you know, the incident or what happened, or, you know, oh my God, did you see that this Drag Race girl did that?
Yeah.
I have no idea why it got to that. You know? So we have to start unpacking the why and making people use their brains more, because now that we have social media and phones and stuff like that, there are ways we can find to use them to some good, to get people to research and study and learn the things that they're dependent on the phone to just.
But what's the goal after that? So once people get their whys,
we need to dissect the why, and then from that find a solution. Find a solution to help people go forward. So if they do become in a situation like this again, they can immediately revert back to, okay, I know what this is going to do. I know how this is going to operate, and I need to think rationally before I react. You know? Oh, Flame says she here. I want to give Flame closing arguments too. Let's see what Flame have to say before we get off here. She says she here. Okay. I'm going to add her now. Let's see. Okay, send her an invite. But kind of figured out that Chris was on Jada. That's when he got upset. Yeah, he did. He looked at Jada and he saw probably the discomfort on her face, and that sent him in. Because I'm not going to not protect my wife like I didn't protect my mom.
Right.
Period. He probably saw that same look on his mom. And when he was going with his dad, and that triggered him. Like,
once we get to the why, right, and we get that understanding, I think the goal is healing. You know, healing from that thing that triggers you still, so it doesn't have the power to sort of have you spring into action beyond your own rationale. And I think healing is the goal.
Yeah.
A healthier people is the goal. And more compassion for when we see people fuck up is the goal. And I loved how Denzel Washington loved on that man, even when he made that mistake.
Yeah.
And reminded him, like, yo, at your highest moment is when the devil comes for you. You're having that right
Somebody saying he should have checked him backstage. It just took away from his moment. However, what happened to his wife did not happen backstage. It happened on stage.
Right.
So still to then, and I always tell people this all the time, if you disrespect me publicly, your apology should not be in my inbox. Your apology should be right. The same platform that you disrespect me on is the same platform you need to go on and apologize to me. Don't come to me in private or in my inbox telling me, oh, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I should have never done that to you. Yeah, yeah. No, baby, you did it on a public stage. You need to apologize to me on a public stage. Because I don't take it. It doesn't mean anything to me.
And Will Smith probably knew he wouldn't have that opportunity to do it after that exact moment. So he's probably like, you know what? It's either now or never, and I'm fed up. So here goes.
Yeah, and somebody else, a woman on here said that Black women and their hair is a very sensitive subject. There are songs about it. There are songs that women have wrote. Solange wrote a song, "Don't Touch My Hair."
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
That can mean physically and you don't touch my hair. Let's not talk about my hair. Let's not do that. That's something really close to me.
That's right. That's right. I would love to hear what Solange has to say about it. Did you see Nikki Gilbert? Nikki Gilbert is spazzing on the Instagram. It's just like, Will Smith is not a violent person. He's had years in this business of turning the other cheek, da-da-da-da-da. So there's a lot of mixed opinions out there. And I think, honestly, I feel like everybody's right.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's right. I feel like Will Smith was wrong for slapping Chris and losing his cool. But I feel like Chris was wrong for not doing this research and not being able to understand. I mean, Jada has went public about this, you know.
Right. So I don't understand people saying they don't know
that. He stepped in doo-doo.
I never knew.
Oh, I knew.
Yeah.
I knew.
I mean, she did talk about it.
She's all short hair. I just thought she was like, okay, I'm just doing ball for a while.
comedian's punching bag tonight. She's not even up for an Oscar. If she was up for an Oscar, go ahead, take a little cute stab at her. But right now, she's just my lady right now. Like, we have to understand the dynamic of what's going on. Like, I'm up for the movie right now. Like, and the last time you talked about her, you tried to play her saying that she was just on a TV show instead of a movie, so she wasn't invited to the Oscars, like you wasn't invited to Rihanna's panties. Like, you already kind of went there, kind of dissing my woman, and I let you slide with that. That was years ago, and I wanted to clock you then. Right. But people told me to, oh, chill out, Will. It's beneath you. It's off brand. It's blah 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 blah. So fast forward up to now, I'm in the front row, and I'm up for the biggest award of the night, and you gonna do it in my face? Like
it's a lot to unpack, and people are quick to say, "Oh, he should have never done that, like that, whatever." But people, you gotta analyze everything and understand. You know, there is an action. There's a reaction to every action, good or bad. There is a reaction to every action. Yeah. So what people should do is start learning to be more aware of their actions. Should Will Smith be held accountable? Yeah. How should Will Smith be held accountable? I think the accountability for Will Smith needs to sit down and come between Chris Rock and Will Smith. How would we want someone else to be held accountable if it wasn't Will Smith? Like I said, the same way. I think what happened to people at some point, no matter if one person has way more fault than the other person, I think they both need to sit down and talk about it. And they need to come to a conclusion there. Who initiates that conversation? Will or Chris? I think Will should initiate the conversation. And if Chris doesn't want to talk about it, does Will keep reaching out? Oh no. Just one time? One time. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. No, this not. I'm only extending myself one time. So wait, yeah. So wait. You telling me Chris is the one that got clocked, and he's in shock, and he needs a moment. He needs a moment to understand. That was the reaction to his action. Chris Rock is a man as well. That was a reaction to his action. A bruised ego. Now he was humiliated. Oh, he was humiliated and bruised. So when he humiliated and bruised Jada, it was totally fine. What he did to Jada was, I think, lighthearted in his mind. I don't think he meant to. Well, Will might feel what he did was lighthearted because he slapped him and didn't punch him and didn't kill him. There may be some truth to that, actually. Right. So we can't lighthearted for lighthearted. It was a lighthearted slap. A slap that made you light on your feet. That's debatable. And so, I think a crime was committed on live camera. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there has to be some kind of accountability. Yeah, I can understand that. What should the accountability be? First of all, there has to be a fine. There has to be restitution. There has to be a fine because that needs to be taken care of for one. Then there has to be a public apology. Paid to Chris Rock. Yes. The Oscars don't need no money. The Oscars don't. The Oscars, they have to pay for it. And they got enough money to pay for it. Also, they don't get to. Okay. No, we ain't not giving no corporations no money. For some, the two guys hash it out. And let me tell you something. The Oscars got what they needed from this whole situation because they got views. They got lots of views and they got lots of buzz. So they gained what they got. They don't need to get no money off this. This needs to be between Chris and Will Smith. That's a good argument. Period. Yeah, you're right. I mean, because they did benefit from. And how about this? If Chris was a badass, he would make Will pay the fine, and he would take the fine and give it to research for what Jada's going through. That's what he needs to do. Because that would be his apology, and that would be their way to sit down and make a conversation about what's actually going on and what women are going through. That's what needs to happen. Because in that way, then it's all solved all the way around. But until somebody do something like that, they can miss. I want Will to donate 100 lace fronts to all the queens suffering around the country that need some fucking hair. I'm going to put him on the list. I would like to receive 2 of them, please. I want 4. And I need good density. You need 300%. Oh, amen.
Oh my gosh.
There's her crown.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it might have been deeper for Jada than people think. And I think that that's what we're forgetting.
Well,
They're making it about the two men. But, y'all, if it was you, you're a woman. These women, if this was you and your man sat there.
Yeah, come on. I mean, think about
and
that.
And didn't
though.
say nothing. You
like, let's think about that. Like, I know we saw what we saw, and we're like, oh, Will, you shouldn't have did that. You're a grown man. You got kids. You know what I mean? You're a role model. Boop, 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 boop. You know better. Da, da, da. Right? Okay. But then let's think about, on the flip side, what happens when he behaves how y'all want him to in the public? What happens at the house? Because it's like, yo, this is who I care about. This woman right here, this is the one I fucks with. So I don't give a fuck about none of y'all. What y'all not gonna do is disrespect the one I gotta lay down with. I gotta lay down with this person. This person could kill me in my sleep. I make the wrong move.
Girl, Jay-Z and Beyonce was sitting out there. He wasn't gonna do that to Beyonce. Not with Jay-Z sitting out there.
You're right. I don't think he would have told that joke.
I don't
think he would have told that.
No, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have came for Beyonce like that.
I don't think he would have done that. I don't think he would have done that. And I think if Beyonce would have released a story on herself that she had alopecia and she was rocking her hair natural, which right now is bald, as a way to liberate other women going through the same thing, I do not think that Chris Rock would have got his little ass on that stage and poked fun at Beyonce. And whether he knew it or not, the Beehive would have gotten his ass together.
Yeah.
Because then they would have said, well, that's your bad. Do your research, nigga. That's what they would have said.
Yeah.
And so that's what people are saying. They're like, you know what? I believe you that you didn't know. Because I don't believe that you're a crummy dude. We all think that Chris Rock is a good dude, I think. You know, I think Chris Rock is a good dude.
I've never heard anything bad about him.
Me neither.
About Chris Rock?
Professionally or personally. Well, maybe happy. We're not going to go there. But, because you know how they do black men. But look how they do black women. And I think right now, black women won a little bit. Because they got to see a black man protect them.
I would love if I had a man that would fucking slap the shit out of someone for me.
Yeah. Why not? And if they don't, they sit there and they laughing along and they looking at you. Oh, bitch, I'm side-eyeing you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have an attitude. You know, I be having attitudes and stuff. What's wrong with you? Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Oh, shit.
What you mean? What you mean? Should something be wrong with me?
You
do
that toxic, dumb shit. I can't stand when you do that. That's so sick.
Oh, she's toxic.
You be like, if something is on your mind, please just say it.
Yeah, but sometimes you want them to know what's on your mind.
No, no, that's your problem. No. I'm not supposed to know what's on your mind. How cocky of me it would be to assume that I know what's on your mind. I mean, think about it from that angle. For me to make assumptions about what you're thinking. So
you don't think Will should have known that?
Very arrogant.
So you don't think that Will?
No,
I think Will knew. Like,
as
soon as
I'm
Will
not
looked at
connecting
Jada.
that to Will and Jada.
No, but what I'm saying is, but when Will looked at Jada, he knew. He was like, she didn't have to say to him.
We all knew. He didn't only know because they have a certain signal between them as a couple. We all knew. It was very clear. It was evident. She didn't like the joke. She rolled her eyes, and she kind of bit down a little bit, like grit her teeth, like, you know. I mean, it was there. It's all over YouTube.
Will knew. When you're with someone for 40 years, you know.
Right,
oh, yeah,
right. He looked at her like, oh shit.
And you know what? The way that
this is gonna be some shit when we leave.
It was almost like they had just had that conversation or something. I promise you, they had just had a conversation about her feeling however she felt about her head that day. And so he knew it was easy to grab because it was something that they had just talked about. Like,
yeah, he probably would say, Will probably would say in his head, oh, I gotta go check this nigga.
Exactly.
He's like, God damn.
if I don't go check this nigga, it's gonna be my problem.
That's
I'm not gonna do that.
Over.
Let me go on up here and straighten him out real fast.
That if I don't slap this man, she gonna beat my ass.
Right.
Remember in school when like the girls will be their boyfriend and then the boyfriend, like the guy who disrespect the girl in school and the girl looking at the boyfriend like, if you don't beat his ass, if you don't beat his, it's kind of like the same, you know, it's like, if you don't defend my honor.
I don't think, I'm not even sure if Will knew what he was going to do.
I don't know if
he got
right
out of his, I'm not even sure if he knew what he was going to do.
I think it might have, and you know what probably happened? Because he didn't know what he was going to do when he got up there and Chris was looking like, oh, I didn't do nothing. That, I'm going to tell you, for me, when people do that to me, it sends me, bitch, I see red.
You know what you call that?
I see red.
That's gaslighting.
Bitch, I see red.
That's a form of gaslighting when people pretend like you're not supposed to have the feeling.
Like, what did I do?
What did I do? What do you mean?
Oh, baby.
I didn't mean that. Like,
I close my eyes and all I see is red lights. Red lights. And I don't stop until the lights is green.
Yeah.
Bitch, I have gone through a room. They have set me off. I have gone through a room. And, baby, when I was done, it was like the Tasmanian devil. And when I came back to myself, it was like, ooh, bitch, you had done.
Toss all this up, buddy.
I done tossed all this around. Where's everybody at? Oh, they on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. He might have got up there and Chris Rock was like, well, what? You know, oh, girl. That would have set me too.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard nothing bad about Chris Rock, but Chris cheated on his wife. Oh my God, I can't.
Chris Rock cheated on, you know.
I don't know. I have to look that up.
Here's a little bit more context.
Oh, that's why he's divorced?
Here's a little bit more context on Chris Rock's side, though. And I don't know how this moves the debate one side or the other, but Chris Rock did do a movie back in the day on black women's hair. Do y'all remember that?
See, somebody said
it's really good.
Somebody said,
wasn't it with Kerry Washington or was it Kerry? Who was in that movie?
Okay.
Really quick. Sanaa. Was it Sanaa? I don't know. But he did a movie that was.
Somebody said about, oh man, alopecia is a really touchy subject. I have a lot of friends who struggle with it. So I think that's another subject we need to discuss. People need to really go and research what this is. Yeah. Because then we might understand why what was said was so effective to the point where it was like
the blessing in disguise.
You're not gonna, you know what I mean? You're not gonna go to a family member sitting in the audience. Say there were some child stars in the audience,
right,
who were going through leukemia or something like that,
exactly,
and sitting there with their parents. You don't know how those parents react if you make a joke about their just because that child is a child star and on TV and movies does not mean that they're not human in real life. And a mother and father sitting there while your child is there, and you decide it's time to make a joke about this child and the way they walk or the way they look.
Now,
bitch.
But I will say though that G.I. Jane was not bad looking, and Jada Pinkett is not bad looking, like at all. Like not even by a long shot, not on any day. Jada is still, I mean, she's Jada. She's still got, I mean, that's one of her biggest, and her mama.
That's great.
Shit.
That's
you know
great,
what I'm
but
saying?
We don't know how Jada feels.
No, we don't know how Jada feels. And I'm just saying to provide context for Chris Rock. See, because Chris Rock is coming from a seat where he's like, this is a confident black woman. This is a strong black woman that could probably take this little mediocre joke that I'm going to throw out there.
But just because we think
I'm just saying he probably didn't have the intention of tearing her down. He just probably thought that she could take it because she's dope.
But should we just, should we just because we think this is a strong woman, we should turn around and put 150 pounds on her back?
Hell no. Hell no. Which is why I think all black women are secretly smiling right now. A lot of them are smiling out loud, but some of them are smiling like they wish that their man would do that type of shit, like at least somebody would do it type of shit. I think a lot of them are smiling, as they should be.
Somebody said black women are the most unprotected, and no matter what, no matter if right or wrong, what Will did was sexy, and he got it good that night.
Yeah.
that.
I can't disagree with that. And I don't think
that.
I don't think
out of here. I'll see y'all.
Okay. Good talking to you.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God. It was great talking to her. But y'all, we have to these conversations do need to be had. And I hope some of y'all really go on there and research alopecia and really study and understand what how this affects mainly
I think
women,
that's the
right?
blessing in disguise, though. And I just want to close with this, is that now people are going to go on and they're going to research what alopecia is, and it's going to bring so much awareness to this medical condition that we all should be informed about and be sensitive to. And it's a newie for us, and you know how we do with newies. It takes us a minute to get it. You know, it takes us a minute to take it seriously. Then it takes us a minute to understand it. Then it takes us a minute to implement it. So, you know, but it's nice to go ahead and start that shit, and we got to jump start with this. So
yes,
yeah.
And you guys, we will be doing lives like this, but the podcast will go live sometime this spring. Hopefully really, really soon. So make sure you guys tune into the podcast. Please go follow Go Deep No Sleep, LV. Go follow that on Instagram.
Do that.
And
follow
hit notifications.
Go follow Elevate Boldly.
Elevate Boldly.
Elevate Boldly. If you need to see anybody, it's they have just go see them. Therapy. It's more than therapy.
Amazing therapy.
It's more therapy. They have things to clear energy and all kinds of different really cool things. So just mental health in general, spiritual health. Elevate Boldly. Go follow them as well.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all I want to say. I'm Jazari_music if you care. At Jazari_music.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
We will see y'all soon. Thanks for tuning in. Please share this live. We're going to post it. So please share this live with people that you want to have a conversation with. And we will always pop back in to have a conversation with you guys on here. And we can continue the conversation. All right. See y'all soon. Bye.